This episode has what we've all been waiting for, following up on the last episode's exciting finish, the big show of the area where you can cash out. Before this show, they spent hours drilling and looking for artifacts and clues. Many people are on the edge of their seats. What are you going to find? Will there be a treasure hidden there? Or will the tunnel be too dangerous to explore? Wait until the end of the movie to see what Oak Island's team has been waiting for a long time. At the beginning of the show, the team's excitement and anticipation are clear. Anyone who wants to work is eager to do so. The operation can begin. Everyone is interested in what will be found. It is planned by the team that cameras will be put down the boreholes so they can see clearly what is below. Blaine Carr, an expert in underwater imaging, was asked to help lead the team to the big find they were hoping to make. This is different from other processes because of the depth of the borehole and the thing that is being targeted. The digging team's first job of the day is to check out Aladdin's cave, which is about 140 to 142 feet deep, to see what's going on there. Among other things, the team hopes to find treasures, learn about the cave's history and what its design points show, and most importantly, find the entrance and exit points. Interestingly, all the questions and hopes don't seem too far-fetched based on what Idean Technologies has said. In fact, all of them seem very doable if you are patient and pay close attention. The earlier observations and data collection have given us a lot of information about what to expect and where to look for areas with a lot of anomalies. The new story is interesting because it adds a little something new to the treasure hunt. Based on the information gathered, it looks like there are more than one place where riches might be hidden. The drilling crew chose to put a camera in the L14 hole first, which is at the southern end of Aladdin's cave. The first thing that had to be done was to carefully open the hole and drop the high-definition camera deep into it. This is to find out exactly where it is and to prove where it came from by looking at its structure. After the operation, which should go well, Blaine will do the operation for which he was hired, a sonar scan to make a map of the underground plan and features. Blaine Carr, an expert in underwater imaging, carefully put the camera down the borehole while the lights were on. The camera was tied to some kind of rope. As soon as the camera starts to move down below, it can be seen that the void is full of water with some metal in it. The team thinks they will be able to do a 3D sonar scan soon. This is possible, but they see something that makes them unsure. The pictures from the camera show some kind of thing deep below, and the team keeps lowering it to get a better look at what it could be. After a while of slowly lowering the drill bit, the team stopped to look at the side of the hole, which turned out to be the edge of the case. To find out more, the camera was turned around so that the feature could be seen from all sides. That same day, the cave's teeth were found. When the camera was lowered another foot, the picture from the camera showed the cave's opening. Further into the cave, the sides, walls, and slope could be seen. But something else seemed to be missing or out of sight. The camera was lowered another 3 inches because Marty wanted to look around the edge of the ledge more. More into the ledge, there was a much bigger hole that looked like a tunnel or a good. To get to the very bottom of the cave, the camera was lowered even more. It was about 6 inches deeper when it found a very large hole. The camera was slowly turned around 360 degrees to look at what was around that hole. The picture showed some medium-sized dirt bumps that looked like they had something under them. But it was hard to tell if these bumps were on the cave side or at the bottom. A lump that looked harder than the others could be seen at the right angle. It looked like a broken rock with sharp edges. The rock was flat on top and had a shape that looked like it was hiding something, which could be the buried treasure. Right now, there is no chance of finding anything else until more data has been looked at. The research team chose to move forward by getting a scan of the cave's opening at the Interpretive Center. There was already a new project going on, and the magnetic analysis report was ready after St. Mary's University processed the data. It looks like the archaeologists on the team knew more about the artifacts that had already been found and the magnetometry study of the roundstone features in Lot 5. A lot of people are looking forward to the reports because Lot 5 has given them a lot of artifacts and files that connect to the money put area. The cave's walls, stone features, and empty spaces that have been looked into with a camera are some of the things that are expected to be found. According to the report, a picture that looked like lumps of cement was found on magnetic susceptibility. It is an oval shape that, when turned on its side, looks like a big hole. There are also big holes in the ground around this area that point to a stone feature that is surprisingly bigger than the big feature itself and is hidden below it. There is no doubt that the team is confused and open to new ideas after the results of the data analysis. This means that there is more to look into than was thought. At first, the team was interested in the round feature. Now they're more worried about what's bigger and lies below it. Is it some kind of seal for a tunnel or prize chest? Or does it hold things that are much older than the island or the discovery? Jamie, an archaeologist, says that the bigger construction is not a coincidence and is not the result of natural events. It looked so well put together and planned that it must have been made by someone with a lot of time to get it just right. People who lived on the island before could have done it, or it could have been the work of searchers, or crazier ideas abound, the military that once held the island. It's interesting to note that the dates of building for both structures seem to be different. This means that there's a good chance that one existed before the order and may have been used as a model for the other. It looks like the only way to get more information is to know when the building will be done. Once that is taken care of, it might be possible to find out more about the society that lived there and where the people who lived on the island before them came from. The team has an idea that the structure may not have been built by just one generation, but was instead improved over time to better serve its purpose until it was worn down by natural causes or being abandoned. Even though the result wasn't great, it shows that the team is very likely on the right track to solving the puzzle of the island. After the next morning, the team goes back to the garden shaft operation to see what changes have been made and if there have been any new finds since it was drilled deeper. The Dumas building team then put together the shoe, which was made of a metal frame and was meant to protect them from the ground while they explored the area below the surface. To do this, you just need to dig under the shoe and add another section to it to make a part of the shoe. You will also need to add 5 piles of shoes to make the structure. At the bottom of the garden shaft, which is about 82 feet deep, Dumas Construction put the shoe in place. The next step is to extend the shaft through the shoe to a depth of more than 95 feet. Once this is done, it can be used as a way to get to the tunnel and other drilled holes that lead to the baby blob, which is where the prize jackpot is. It's not a surprise that fixing the first shoe and pushing it to the bottom of the garden shaft is not easy. It will probably take a couple of hours before it can be finished. Another part of the team, the archaeologists, have also started digging again on Lot 5 and have been working their way through the round stone hollow. It looks like even more work has been made since the last report. From what has been seen on the magnetometer data, it looks like the round feature has a big rectangular feature under it, as shown in the pictures at the Interpretation Center. This has been proven on Lot 5, and it looks like the archaeologist team was able to find out more. They think that the area with moving water is around the outside of the stone wall and goes all the way around the hollow in the shape of a circle. However, the full width of it won't be known until more digging is done. The current objective is to find out the size of the rectangular feature without forcing through any possible artifacts. This is because forcing through is the faster and easier option, but there is a greater than 99% chance of damaging the object beyond repair. Most of the artifacts that are being found are broken pieces of creamware. It looks like putting the bits together might be enough to make the whole ship. As the team carefully sorts through the dirt and rocks, they hope to find more signs that will help them learn more about the circular depression and what it is supposed to be. During the sorting, Jack finds something else. This time, there are no creamware parts. The team all says that it looks a lot like a handmade square fastener with spikes that look like rose heads and maybe from the 1700s. Jamie said an interesting fact about irons that was made at a time when they corroded outwards instead of inwards, which deepened them. The iron was more worn on the outside than on the inside, which means it was made a long time before the island was found, possibly even 100 years before it was found. Their idea seems to fit with the past of the rose spikes. They are commonly made by hand with hammers that have rose-shaped petal heads, and the spikes are used to build houses and big ships, which gives us 2 possible histories for the circular depression. The spike might have been a part of a building tool that was left behind after the project was finished, or it could have been a product that a sailor brought to the island to use for himself, maybe to build a house or tunnel. Good thing there's a way to compare the spike to other spikes that have been found on the island so far. The spike was put in a bag so that it could be seen and studied by the CT machine. Not long after the spike was found, another metal was also found. The team thinks it's a handle, maybe for a tool, because it's long, thin, light, and has an oddly shaped head. These two finds seem to point to the first people who lived on the island and the people who built the money pit. It's way too late for these finds to be used by hunters as tools. It either belonged to native people or people who hid wealth there. Blaine Carr, an expert, is still working in the money pit area. He is using a sonar device to scan the Aladdin cave and record information about its properties, features, and measures. He is also looking into any tunnels that are close to the cave. To start the job, the Echologger -710 scanning device was carefully put through the hole. Sound, walls, sides, the bottom, or any other angle can be reflected by this gadget. The items make a three-dimensional map of the water below when they are reflected. At 140 feet, the team chose to see what the Sonata gadget would do. The experts think that the information on the screen shows the shape of the cavity's edge. In the beginning, most of what is being perceived comes from sound reflections. The team chose to leave the device for a long time, until the next morning, so that visible data could be gathered. Another member of the Oak Islands team traveled quite a way to meet with Jeff Parker, a famous weapons expert, at Nova Tactical. The goal is to learn more about the weapons that were found during excavations on Lot 5 of the island. Based on what the archaeologists thought, it could be a ramrod guide, and the weapons expert agreed that this was the case. The ramrod guide was used on muskets and smaller guns like flintlock pistols. The experts think that this ramrod, because of its size and shape, would have been used for smaller guns. Something like this might have been part of a hunter's gun tool. Does it have a more interesting history? When the old Roman number was brought up, Jeff seemed a little surprised at how unlikely it was that such an old weapon would be found. He said he had never handled something so old, and it was possible that it was from much earlier than the 1700s, maybe even the 16th century, which was a long time before the money pit was found. There is no question that the team's theory was not too far-fetched, and they are very close to figuring out what happened. The next morning is a little different because the weather has changed, but it looks like nothing is stopping the team from stopping their work. The team got together under a shed to look at the long-awaited video data from Echologger -710, which is 200 feet down in Aladdin's cave. According to Blaine Carr, the report is a flat-faced wall surface that shows it was built by people and not by nature's actions and soil disturbances. In addition, they discovered a 500-year-old stone road, shedding light on the island's ancient history and heightening the mystery encircling its secrets. A mid-15th century rock drill was discovered in the B4C shaft, which was possibly the most astonishing discovery. This artifact has prompted speculation about the island's hidden history and valuable treasures. As Oak Island continues to disclose its secrets, the world eagerly anticipates additional discoveries and the chance to decipher its ancient mysteries. The Lagina brothers and their devoted team embarked on an extraordinary voyage to uncover Oak Island's long-held secrets. Their efforts and breakthroughs brought them closer to the legendary treasure, increasing their confidence that it was within reach. One discovery in particular stood out among their recent discoveries. As they meticulously scrutinized the rock drill discovered in the B4C shaft, a profound realization occurred. This ostensibly unremarkable artifact had the potential to be crucial evidence, leading them directly to the concealed treasure chamber buried beneath the ground. The crew made a remarkable discovery that sparked intense speculation. Through a network of tunnels, they believed they were near to discovering the elusive money pit, or a hidden treasure chamber. Even though they were in the final phase of excavation, the crew remained determined to reach their goal. When they discovered a 90-foot deep tunnel, they believed it was a sign that they were approaching the original money pit. Unfazed by the difficulty of the voyage thus far, they proceeded with the unshakable conviction that they were getting closer to uncovering the mysteries of the money pit. Armed with newly acquired knowledge and an insatiable desire for answers, the Lagina brothers and their companions prepared to delve even deeper, prepared to confront the mysteries that awaited them. Each step drew them closer to uncovering the centuries-old secrets that had been concealed. Their determination was fueled by their unwavering pursuit of the treasure, which had captivated the minds of innumerable explorers before them. The group developed a novel strategy based on their previous findings. They decided to concentrate their efforts on investigating the mysterious stone-paved area in the swamp because they believed it would provide important clues as to the location of the treasure. Using advanced ground-penetrating radar technology, they scanned the surface of the swamp, revealing anomalies that may indicate the presence of concealed chambers or tunnels. The ground-penetrating radar surveys uncovered a remarkable discovery: a network of interconnected tunnels beneath the swamp. The crew realized that these tunnels may hold the key to unlocking Oak Island's final secrets. The crew was filled with anticipation as they prepared to investigate these underground passages, knowing that they were on the verge of a significant discovery. With their specialized equipment and protective gear, the crew entered the recently unearthed tunnels with courage. The ambiance inside was damp and unsettling, which amplified their feelings of excitement and danger. As they progressed deeper into the complex labyrinth, they discovered shards of tools, signs of human habitation, and cryptic symbols etched into the tunnel walls. Each step brought them closer to the long-awaited revelation. After years of arduous searching, the team uncovered a secret chamber concealed deep within the tunnels. As they cautiously opened the chamber door, they were dumbfounded by what they saw. They stood there in awe as they encountered the ultimate prize they had tirelessly sought. The treasure that had evaded them for what seemed like an eternity suddenly materialized before their eyes. It was an awe-inspiring sight, a collection of dazzling jewels, each glistening in its own brilliant hue. Alongside them were artifacts that told tales of long-vanished civilizations. The containers were brimming with unfathomable riches, including gold and silver that glistened with unrivaled opulence. After years of effort, the Oak Island curse was ultimately resolved. Their perseverance and diligence paid off as they uncovered secrets that had been concealed for centuries. In that moment of triumph, they felt a mixture of pleasure and relief, knowing that their perseverance had led to the discovery of a lifetime. Click the subscribe button if the video has piqued your interest thus far. The discovery of the treasure on Oak Island was not only a triumph for the Lagena brothers and their team, but also a demonstration of human tenacity and the enduring appeal of adventure.